Thanks for making such a huge difference out in the world. You know, as I've been really pondering the things that we need to do to help you on your path, you know, I've been teaching a lot of college kids lately, and our teams teach in schools. We're making a difference. It's getting out there. We're learning, earning, and returning. But I'm asking these smart college kids, these kids, what is your plan? You know, what is your success plan? How are you going to do it? And I ask them some simple questions like, what's the S&P? You know, how do you invest? And they don't know. These kids are smart kids. This college that I've been teaching, I did not qualify to get into that college when I was younger. They're smart kids. They learned algebra. They know trigonometry. They just don't know simplicity. In order to be successful, you don't want it complex. You want it simple. Simplify and multiply, simplify and multiply. So that's why we really want you to really get and understand how to do the 7 steps on one piece of paper. Now we've created this so that you can take this, and I want you to print it, and I want you to put it on your wall. I want you to put it someplace that you can see it every day and what these steps are. As I've been teaching these college kids, they're smart, but they just don't understand the simplicity of money and how it all works, which is just really kind of an amazing thing. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make sure that you really get and understand the 7 steps. And again, this is on one piece of paper. So if you want, you can send me just a quick email at successandmoneyfoundation@gmail.com. And we're going to send this out to you, and you can print it, or we'll have it up online as well. But just some things to really, really remember. And again, this has got to be so simple that you can fit it on the back of an envelope. It's got to be so simple that you can get it on one piece of paper. So when I teach these college kids, I literally give them an envelope and I teach them, here's the 5 steps to freedom. These are the 5 things that you got to do. And here's the other 2 things you need to do to be wealthy. Now, why do you have to be financially free? Why do you need to be wealthy? Because you have a bigger mission. You have other things to go solve. The first thing you got to do is you got to fix you and your family. Then number 2 is we got to go help other people. That's the key to life. The secret to living is giving. You know, it's not getting, it's giving. The only way you can get what you want out of life is to help other people get what they want out of life. Tony Robbins said the first one, and Zig Ziglar said the second one, which I'm big fans, and I know both of those guys. SuccessMoneyFoundation.org is a nonprofit foundation. We've already given out over $1.5 million to individuals and families, to schools, churches, charities, groups, and teams. So we've got plenty of money in there. The goal is to help you get where you need to go. We want to provide wonderful classes for you to go to. That's the first key to everything we do. Now, there's 11 ways that you and your group can earn financial rewards. You're not doing this for the financial rewards. You're doing it for the game. You're doing it to be competitive, because there are 11 ways that you can earn money from the group. There's 11 ways that you can earn money from financial rewards from the group. You can do that by attending online classes, by sharing with others, and competing with others. You are in the marketplace. You are competing with other people in the marketplace. Right now, today, you are competing with other people. You're in the game. You're in the matrix. You're in the game of life. So there's all kinds of ways that you can do that. Learn, earn, and return. You're going to need to learn. You're going to need to be able to return, and then you need to compete with other people. Now, there's 7 steps, and there's 7 things that you need to do, and this is so important that you've got to get these things down. And guess what? These smart college kids did not know these answers. They did not even know what the answers were to these things. Number 1, you've got to make more money, period. Period, end of story. You have to learn how to make more money, because the governments of the world cannot balance their budgets, so they keep printing money. If there was 10 apples and there was only $10 in circulation, every apple's worth $1. But when the government prints more money, now there's 20. dollars in circulation. That means that every apple is now $2. If you own apples, good job. You just doubled your money. If you don't own any apples, you're paying twice as much to eat. When they all start solving their problems and stop adding so much debt and printing so much money, then we'll have a different strategy. You've got to make more money. You do that by solving bigger problems, adding more value. But you've got to study successful people and do what they do. They are a model for you. Now, this isn't something that you're going to learn once and it's done. I'm still using techniques and strategies that I learned from my dad 50 years ago. The rich are getting richer because they do the simple strategies over and over and over again over a period of time. They keep doing these things. Now, if you were in Manila and you're jumping on an airplane and your flight is to go to New York City, okay, and you're going to fly to New York City, and you start that journey, guess what? That pilot is always off by a little bit. They have to correct. They have to correct. They have to correct. If they just set their system up and said, hey, this is where we got to go to New York, if they're a little bit off, like 1/2 of 1% or 1% off on their directions, they won't end up in New York. They'll end up in Florida because you're off by that one little thing. You're constantly readjusting. You're constantly looking, is this where I'm going? Is this where I'm going? Is this where I'm going? And then making the little corrections, making the little corrections, making the little corrections. But the first thing you got to do is you got to decide that I'm going to jump on an airplane and I'm going to go see the world. I'm going to go to New York. That's the first thing you got to do. Then number 2 is you got to get on the airplane and then you got to correct. You got to study successful people. You got to understand how they do what they do. They're constantly looking at where they're going and how they're going to get there and how they can fix it so that they can get there better. Number 1, and this fits on one piece of paper. I want you to be able to print this. I want you to put it in front of your desk. I want you to put it on your mirror. When you're getting ready, I want you to be constantly thinking of how you can do each of these steps and do them better. How do I get back on course? How do I get back on course? How do I get back on course? The rich people, the successful people do simple things. Simple things. The famous basketball coach, John Wooden, who coached the UCLA Bruins back when I was growing up, they won championship after championship after championship. And in the first day of practice, he taught his players how to tie their shoes correctly. Because if they didn't tie them correctly, they could get a sprain. He taught them how to cut their toenails, because if their toenails become ingrown, then that can get them, that can hurt them. It's the simplicity of it, not the complexity. Simplify and multiply, simplify and multiply, simplify and multiply. Study successful people and then do what they do. Number 2, whenever you get money coming into your world, and you're getting money every day, you have to decide where you want it to go. Where do I want that money to go? Where do I want that money to go? Where do I want that money to go? And you have to make a decision every day. So step number 2 is you need to separate it and you need to decide where it's going to go. Where's it going to go? Most of you guys are just getting thrown all over the place because you don't know, you don't have a plan. This is your plan. You got to separate it and say, this is where I want it to go. Number 3, you got to give some away. Honestly, I don't care how much you give away. I do not care how much you give away, and I don't care who you give it to. You can give it to your church, you can give it to your charity, you can give it to individuals, whoever you want to help make that happen. You can give your time, you can give your energy. You got to give a little bit of it away. Number 4, this is the most crucial part. And if you never did another thing, I don't care how much money you make. I don't care where you spend it. Honestly, I don't. The only thing I care about is how much did you get into step 4? How much did you get into your long-term investment accounts? You've got to get your money growing for you. Now, some of you are going to plant trees that you're not going to see much of the fruit from, but your kids will. And the most important thing is to teach the kids how to grow their own money trees, because they have a long time to do that. The wealth formula, we can shrink that to make it a lot faster, but the 5 steps is going to help you become financially free. We need to do the 7 to get you really wealthy, but that's the first 5 that we want to talk about. Automatically invest. It's a separate account. It's a separate account. Now you can have a personal retirement, a personal investment account, and a retirement account. Now let me talk to you why it's important to have a personal investment account. When you put money in the bank, which is step number 5, is to save and spend. That money that you're living off of makes you no money. The banks are taking your money. The credit unions are taking your money and they're reloaning it out to other people and back to you and making a profit. The rule of 72, the compound interest. I was talking to a friend of mine that I do a lot of banking with, and he says, our organization has $500 million from our depositors that are in their savings account, and we're paying them nothing. $500 million. And we're taking that money and we're reloaning it out, and sometimes right back to them. So you need a personal investment account because your bank is not going to pay you the interest you need. They're going to pay you nothing. But if you put it into an investment account, you can, even if you just loan money to it, you just put money in it to sit there, you're going to get 3 to 5% on it. So that's why you need to have a personal investment account. Now, in addition to the personal investment account, many of you need to have a retirement account. Now, wherever you are in the world, we have different names for these, but pretty much everywhere you are, they have a retirement account to help you in your older age. On your retirement account, in America, if they have a 401k, if the employer's matching it, so if you have to figure out where you're going to fund, most places have one of these or something similar to it. But in America, we have a 401k. That means that if your employer is matching it, if you put $1 in, they will put $1 in. Well, that's a 100% rate of return on your money. So if you're trying to figure out where you're going to put your money, well, the first thing is 401k, if they have one, because then they're matching it. Yes, you got to pay taxes on it and a whole bunch of taxes when you pull it out. But guess what? You just doubled your money, and I would do that up to the match. Number 2 is, then I would have, in America, we call it a Roth IRA. It's a tax-free investment that you can do, a tax-free account, and you can invest in it. You can put stock in it. You can put bonds in it. And the difference is that you don't get a tax write-off today, but you get to keep all the money. You don't have to pay any taxes on any of it. Now, people are saying, well, I don't have enough money. I need to have a savings account in case there's an emergency. Well, guess what? If you have that big of an emergency, you'll figure out how to solve it. Number 2 is that you can probably put it on a credit card, a short-term credit card, and fix it that quick. Or you can actually go back into your investment account and go get it. On any money you put into a Roth IRA that you personally put in, you can pull back out if you need it. I don't suggest it, but that's your security blanket. Forget about paying taxes on all this money. So that's the next thing, is to do a Roth. And then the last one is just a regular IRA. So in your automatically invest, you want to have a personal investment account and you want to have a retirement account. Okay. Now, some of the stuff you're going to do later on, but this is the plan. I want you to understand the plan of where you're going. Now, when you have these investment accounts, a personal account or a retirement account, you're either going to loan or you're going to own. You're going to either loan or own. What do you do when you loan? Well, when you put money into your number 5 into your checking and savings account, you're loaning them money. When you put money into your personal investment account, and it's because you can have a checking and savings account right there, you'll get a better rate of return, usually 3 to 5%. Your bank's not going to pay you anything. Forget it. They want your money, and they're going to take your money and loan it out to somebody else. You can do certificates of deposits. You can do bonds. You can do government bonds. If you want to loan, they'll say, well, you can get a 3 to 5% rate of return, and the terms are better. Sometimes at the bank, they'll say, well, we can give you like a 4% rate of return, but if you need that money out earlier, they're going to whack you that interest. Look at the small print. That's why most people need to have an investment account. Now, in addition to that, you can own things. You can own stock. You can own stock in different companies. So we're going to talk about stock for a second. There's 4 ways to invest in long-term stocks. Number 1, you can pick and choose, but if you pick and choose, you lose. If you pick and choose, you lose. It's just against you. You guys get a little bit of money, you think you got to go gamble it. You don't. You spend your time making more money. What we're going to do is that we're going to look at number 4 and number 3. Over time, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's companies made more money than the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is the 500 biggest companies in America that are worldwide, and you can invest in the S&P 500. S&P is called Standard & Poor's. It's just a company that started tracking all this stuff, so that's how the name stuck. But it's the 500 biggest companies in America. When I ask these smart college kids what that is, the majority of them don't know what it is. These are smart kids, and they don't know. So simplify and multiply. So you pick and choose, you lose. The problem with a mutual fund is the fees are a little bit more. Now, I own mutual funds. I have a professional manager that manages some of our estate. I do. So I just that's part of my asset allocation. But when we give you money, I'm going to ask you to do what I want you to do, which is to put it into Berkshire Hathaway. I want you to put it in Warren Buffett's company because it acts like the big S&P 500, but there's no fees. There's a little bit of a small commission when you buy it. Other than that, there's no fees. There's a little bit of a fee to the S&P 500. That's why Berkshire's outperformed the S&P, which has outperformed mutual funds. Okay? And you pick and choose, you lose. So just cross that one right off. You can own other things. You can own businesses and you can own crypto. And that's all part of your asset allocation. So if you had $100, you're going to say, well, I'm going to put 5% of that into crypto. I'm going to put 70% into stocks. I'm going to put 20% or 30% or whatever it is into owning. That's asset allocation. And you get to decide that. Over a long period of time, stock is averaged between 8 and 10%. Sometimes it's even higher than that. I think Berkshire's up higher than that. Rule of 72. How long does it take for something to double? So that's the key. You got to get your money working for you. So that's number 4. Number 5 is to save and spend. Number 5 is to save and spend. We created a money tracker where you can manage your money on one piece of paper. So the first side, there's 5 pieces to that, 5 connections to that you need to do to be financially independent. Number 6 and 7 is how we're going to get you wealthy. But you need to track your money on one piece of paper. Why? Because it's a game and games are fun. And you can download that. You can simply go to the courses menu. You can go to the free downloads, and there you can get the manage your money on one piece of paper. You're going to put your information in there. You're going to print one out for you, one for your wife, and this is how you're going to keep track of your money. Money's a game and games are fun. Money's a game and games are fun. So we're going to go see if we can live on less money than we make, and we're going to take that extra money and we're going to go get it invested. That's the first 5 steps that will help you to become financially independent. But you need to be wealthy. You need to be wealthy. We need to add real estate and businesses. Step 6 is to add real estate and businesses. You're going to find it. You're going to fund it. You're going to fix whatever problem it is. So every day you're going to be looking at these things. What am I doing? What are the problems out there and how do I fix it? Then you're either going to flip it, means I'm going to flip it and get some cash out of it, or I'm going to farm it. I'm going to keep it as a long-term money tree. Okay? Find it, fund it, fix it. Then flip it or farm it. Now, there are 3 ways that you can own your home and real estate free and clear. There's 3 things that you can do. Number 1, you need to own your own home. Now, let's talk about debt for a second. There's smart debt and there's stupid debt. Stupid debt is usually up in step number 4 in your save and spend. You're borrowing money on a credit card and you are the one paying it back. You're going to a university or college and getting into debt. So the smart debt is, can you make more money off of this? So if I'm going to spend money, if I'm going to borrow money, can I make more money because of it? If I'm going to go to school and I'm going to get into debt, will I make more money? Can I make more money? And if I can make more money, then it's worth it. If I can't make more money, then it's not worth it. That's smart debt is that when you can make more money because of the debt. Smart money is when other people pay it off for you. Like I made $10 million in real estate because I bought rental units and I held them for 30 years, in some cases 40 years, and they went up in value. And the renters made the mortgage payments for me. Okay, so the renters paid those off for me. So that's smart debt. Stupid debt. Stupid debt is credit card debt at 21%. That stupid debt, that debt is doubling in cost every 3.4 years. 21% times 3.4 equals 72. It takes 3.5 years for that debt to double in cost. Your money sitting into a savings account or a checking account, if the bank paid you, which I doubt they will, if they paid you 1%, 1 times 72 equals 72. It takes 72 years for your checking account to double in value. Guess what the dang bank did? It took the money out of your savings account, out of your checking account, and loaned it back to you on your credit card. That's what they did. That's where they got the money. And they're making 21% on it. And then the other thing I'm going to tell you, it's just going to irk you to death, is guess what? They're going to even do worse than that. For every dollar they bring in, they can loan it out 9 different times. It's called fractional banking. This is why they're making bank, and this is why you're not. All right, number six. We need to add real estate and business. We need to add real estate and business. Find it, fund it, fix it. Then flip it and farm it. So in your business or in your real estate, you've got to do that. 3 ways to own your home free and clear. Buy it for less, get a better interest rate, and pay it off faster. So I did that on all my rental units. As the rents went up, I took that and I started paying the loans down faster. And there's 25 ways to make more money with your small business. So when you go to courses, go log in, go to courses, you can see there's 11 different ways that you can make money, and you can go to real estate classes. You can go to small business classes. There's all kinds of, you can go through the 7 steps classes, and you can earn financial rewards for doing that. Now, number 7, the wealth formula. The wealth formula. This is crucial. This is crucial. This is crucial. Now, number 4 and number 7 are very simple, are very similar. The only difference is that in number 7, we're going to take money from your job, your businesses, and your real estate. We're going to take all 3 of those and get those making money for you. Because for most people, step number 4 is you're only making money from your job. So that's where the investment comes from, your job, but the systems are similar. Number 7, we want to add money with profits making from real estate, profits we're making from our businesses, and profits that we're making from our job, and put that away on a monthly basis. Money in on a monthly basis times have it go up in value. It can't be sitting in your checking account getting you nothing. You got to get a rate of return on your money. Times time. This is going to take some time to do. Equals wealth. Now, can you shorten that? Can you shorten that dramatically? Yes. What do you have to do? You have to put more money in. You have to make more money. And number 2 is you got to get a better rate of return. So if you have your money in at 1%, that's not going to cut it. If you got it at 3%, 3 times 24 equals 72. It'll double every 24 years. 6 times 12 equals 72. It takes 12 years for it to double. If you're making a 12% rate of return on your money, well, 12 times 6 equals 72. It takes 6 years for you to double your money. So if you want to do this faster, you want to grow those money trees faster, we got to get them more fertilizer, we got to get them more water, and we got to get them better sunshine. You got to get the weeds out of there so that the weeds aren't destroying your money trees. So we're going to put money away faster and more of it, have a better rate of return, and then your time's going to shorten up. So instead of taking a lifetime, you can do it in a shorter period of time, and that equals wealth. So guys, that's the system. It's so simple to be able to do. We want you to be able to have access. This is the page that we've got for you. So if you want us to send you one of these pages, it's got to be where you can print it and put it on your mirror. You want to look at it every day. This is your game plan. We're going from Manila to New York, and this is the plan. And if we don't get there, we're going to end up in Florida or some other place. This is how we just make adjustments to where we're going. So send us a quick email at successandmoneyfoundation@gmail.com, and we'll send it to you. And we'll also have it up online. So we've got it. We'll be adding that up online as well. Okay, everybody, this is Tom Painter for my 7 steps. So you have the ability to do my game plan, my money tracker, and my 7 steps to wealth. If you do those things, you'll be wealthy. Your job is to take care of you, because if you're spending all your time, you can't spend as much time in making a difference in the world for other people. Thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to be right back. We got some wonderful material that we want to go through. Make a difference. Make it happen. Remember that every life is precious. Thanks.